Hey everyone, if you're watching this video, that means you are interested in learning how to take dominion and control your finances. We'll be talking a little bit today about taking financial freedom in 5 steps. If you haven't met me, my name is Jorge Perez. I'm a bilingual financial coach, advisor, and insurance agent. Let's get into it. So, we'll be talking about 5 simple steps. First one will be mastering your income. Second is discovering where you can save. Third is rebuilding or leveraging your credit. Fourth is paying off debt. Fifth is investing for the future. And then I know it says six. It's just next steps, right? So count it, but don't count it. So I want to make this as simple yet effective as possible. I know in the complicated world and with everything we're doing every day, which I know you're busy, we want to be able to make this an effective tool that you can use for yourself, right? So let's jump into a little bit of who we are. So we are a financial firm with over a decade of experience. We're a brokerage. We work with over 40 carriers. We've helped thousands of families at this point be able to protect themselves, wealth, be able to build custom retirement plans, and so much more. So here's just some of my credentials, which is financial coach, advisor, and a few other of the boring yet very necessary things to be able to have this conversation with you, right? So step one, mastering your income, right? And so the foundation of this is budget. Why is a budget so important? Well, Ben Franklin said, watch the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves, which I think is so important. So budgeting helps you see where your money is going and how to take control of that. Because, I think we can all relate to this, that at the end of the month, you get paid, or at the first of the month you get paid, and then all of a sudden you just see your money flowing out and it's like water through your hands, right? You're like, yay, payday's awesome. And then the next day all the bills are due. It's like, where did my entire check went, or where did it go, right? And I think that's one of the things where you're like, man, I hate living check by check and not knowing where my money's going or what is being spent on. I know I myself have been many times where there's subscriptions, whether it be streaming services or being able to order stuff, or just things that I put on automatic renewal. That way I forget about it. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what's this? And I have to remind myself and look over my budget to be able to distinguish that, right? So a budget isn't about restriction. It's about freedom to spend on what truly matters. I know many times people say, of course, I've heard I need a budget all my life, but that's just a bunch of rules, or that's just going to restrict what I can do. Well, I think it's going to give you the freedom to be able to focus on your goals, on what really matters, which if you have a family, it's your family. If you're trying to get out of college, buy your first home, be able to budget for that, know what you can afford and how you can live comfortably and in peace, right? So how is it that we build a budget together? Really, several different tips that I can give you is categorizing your income and expenses. So what's essential versus savings and fun, right? I think all three of these categories is very important, because you don't just want to save, and never be able to enjoy the hard work or the fruits of your labor, but you also want to be able to take that vacation that you deserve, right? So identifying areas where you're overspending is another thing, right? Which we'll jump into in a few minutes, about where you can save on current expenses and what you're spending a lot of money on. But then after that is choosing the best budgeting method for you, right? So really what works for you. So step two is discovering where you can save. So where is it that you can find maybe some hidden savings opportunities, right? And strategies. What is it that you can use? Well, the first thing I think is really to analyze your bills and find ways to pay less without sacrificing your lifestyle. For example, some of the most expensive things are your insurance bill, your auto, home insurance. If you own a business, same thing with commercial insurance. It's actually, over the last 4 years, it's gone up by 79%, which is a bunch of money that you may be, wasting or throwing down the toilet. So we definitely can help you compare your rates and take a look at that. The other thing is your cell phone bill. Many of the times you get locked into maybe a promotion. Same thing with internet, that after a year it doubles or triples even in price. So when's the last time you took a look at your cell phone provider, your carrier, see what other promotions are out there that could be a benefit to your family, right? Maybe it's time to upgrade your iPhone 6 into the newest iPhone. But instead of paying all that money, you can save a little bit there. And utilities. This is one of the things that we always pay that many times we forget about, but there are different things that you can take a look at to help lower or even eliminate some costs that aren't necessary, right? And that's kind of the next step, is eliminated unnecessary subscriptions. Maybe, Netflix is one of those things that, oh man, I really enjoy it, but I don't really have time to watch it or enjoy it. Well, maybe you can eliminate that, or share a subscription with a family member or anything like that. The gym, same thing. If you haven't been gym for a while, it may be time to reconsider your goals there, or even eliminate that, which I would suggest making the best with what you have. So maybe you can do some workouts at home, or if you are going to pay for a bill at the gym, is actually going and using it to the best of your ability and the benefit, right? Another thing is lowering food expenses by meal planning and cutting food waste. I know I myself have been very guilty due to my schedule and how busy I am, is going out to eat, getting something quick, coming back to the office, just trying to get work done, and then being able to wrap up that day, right? But many times, I'm spending a lot of money on going out to eat. Second thing, my health is definitely not better, but worse, because I'm eating fast food. And third is I don't feel very great because the quality of the food is not best. So maybe it's a meal plan where you can buy your groceries and prepare those meals ahead of time, or even meal delivery service that I know there's quite a bit that I've used that has helped me be able to save time and money. So that's really some strategies on finding hidden savings that we can also help you. Or if you want to take a look at that yourself, it's another great option that we can guide you on how to do. So smart spending strategies. One of the things is negotiating bills. You can always call companies to ask for lower rates or promotions. That's one of the things that I know I've done myself. For example, if my internet bill after a year has doubled or tripled or gone quite up, I'll call them and say, hey, I really can't afford this. I need to be able to lower this. What can we do about it? Or I'm going to have to take a look at other options, which miraculously, that really helps them to be able to say, oh, we just found another deal that can help you. Another thing is using cashback rewards program. For example, if you do use a credit card and you're responsible with it, there's a lot of points that you can use that could be a benefit for you, right? Whether being able to get things at a lower cost deal, or just money back. That I know every penny matters in this economy, right? Buying secondhand or using coupons. I know many times we don't like to buy secondhand, but you can actually find really good stuff that you can buy secondhand, whether it be appliances, furniture, technology, several different things like that, whether it be on Facebook Marketplace, on a bunch of these different places that you can go on and being able to do that. And coupons, who doesn't love a good coupon where you can save some money, right? I recommend always looking for those deals. No matter how much you make, I think you rather keep that money in the family or in your pocket rather than giving it to somebody else, right? So step 3, rebuilding or leveraging your credit. Well, just a small explanation. I know many times these are some of the things that school doesn't teach, which is building good credit, how to balance your checkbook, how do taxes work, really, as well as buying your first home, your auto, several different things like that. So why does credit matter? Well, it impacts your ability to get loans, mortgages, and even job opportunities. There's a lot of job places that take a look at that as a way to see if you're responsible with your finances, right? So what affects your credit score? So we see here that payment history affects about 35% of your total credit score, which is your FICO score that they report to 3 different credit bureaus, which is Experian, is Equifax, as well as TransUnion. Those are the 3 ones that different companies will use whenever they're considering, to give you a loan, et cetera, and different things like that. So second category is credit utilization. So meaning how much of that total line of credit are you using? For example, let's say you have 4 credit cards and a total of $5,000 in a line of credit with those credit cards. These companies want you to have 30% or less in total of that balance. So meaning if you have $5,000 in credit cards and line of credit that you're able to use, what these companies would want for you to keep under is about 1,500 or lower in order to be considered a good, responsible user of that line of credit, if I could say it like that. Length of credit history as well as 15%, meaning how long have you had that relationship with that company? Whether it be credit cards, whether it be mortgages and auto loans. You know, one of the things that most people may realize is whenever you pay off your auto, it actually takes a ding on your credit a little bit because you've had that relationship for a couple of years and you paid it off. But in the long term, it's great because that debt has been eliminated, right? And then it's credit mix and new credit. So what type of different lines of credits do you have? Is it just credit cards? Do you have a mortgage, credit card, and auto loan? Is it a personal loan? Is it a business loan? So having a good spectrum of different types of credits can actually really help. And opening a new type of credit to show that you're responsible with it and that you're also growing your portfolio can also be a benefit if you use it responsible, right? So one of the things is, well, you know, all of us in our 20s and even in our late teens have probably misused our credit cards because the concept of I get this credit card, I have this line of credit and I can use it all I want, but then whenever that bill hits, like, oh man, I have to pay it back, right? It's something that has happened to all of us. Or I don't know if anyone has ever had an emergency. I know a couple years ago my car broke down. It was going to be $6,000 in order to repair it and I couldn't afford a new one. But I needed that car in order to get to work. So I had to be able to take out a loan and pay that off. And the interest was just killing me and lowered my credit by quite a bit. But what can you do? What are some steps that you can do to start to repair your credit, right? The first one is paying off collections and disputing errors. So if there's any errors that you can get a free annual credit report that you can see all that and start paying those things off or negotiating with them and say, hey, I know I owe X amount, but I have X amount. Can I go ahead and make this payment in order to eliminate that? And can you give me a letter to be able to give to the credit bureaus in order to help my credit? Second thing is requesting goodwill adjustments from creditors, which is kind of that negotiating part that you can receive letters from them or that show of goodwill in order for you to be able to report, to be able to bring up your total credit. Another one that we just talked about is keeping your balances under 30% of your limit, which is extremely important, right? You want to show that you're a responsible user of your credit. Another thing is using credit reward points and being able to use that to your advantage. I know many credit cards that if you pay for gas or you're out eating in a restaurant, they give you 5%. I know many people that travel due to job or different things, you can actually earn Sky Miles and have a free trip. So I'd rather get something for free rather than paying it, right? I think everyone can agree free money is the best money. Another thing is securing lower interest rates on major purchases. So whether it be refinancing, taking a look maybe 6 months or a year down the road that you can refinance an auto loan or some other type of loan that you can get a better interest rate in order to lower not only your monthly payment but the overall debt on that. So let's continue. Step 4 is really paying off debt, which I know all of us understand the importance of paying off debt because debt is one of those things that really can crush us in many different ways, right? I know student loans and then autos and then mortgages and then medical bills, if we have those, that it happens to all of us. But really, what are some methods that you can use in order to pay off debt? Where the three major ones is debt consolidation, so combining loans to lower your interest rate. So maybe you have a total of, once again, 5 credit cards and you have $10,000 of debt between all those. Maybe you can take out one personal loan, and instead of having to pay 20, 25, or 30% in interest in those credit cards, you can get a personal loan for 10 and you're saving yourself 10, 15% in interest loans. Second thing is snowball method, where you pay off the smallest debts first in order to focus on the bigger debts. For example, if you have, let's say, 3 credit cards, one you owe 300, another one you owe 500, another one you owe 1,000. Well, the way you go about it in the snowball method is paying the $300 one off first, and you do minimum payments on the other 2, and then you focus on the bigger debt as you go on. The next method is avalanche method. So you pay off the highest interest debts first to save the most money. So let's say in that example I just gave you, the $300, $500, and $1,000 debt within those credit cards. Let's say the $500 credit card debt that you have is actually a 30% interest rate, while the 300 is 12% and the 1,000, let's say, is 20%. Well, the way you would do it in Avalanche method, you would pay off the $500 one first because it has a 30% interest rate, and you would do minimum payments on the other ones until you completely eliminate that debt, and then you would focus on the second one, which in our example is $1,000 debt in the credit card, and then you would finally wrap up with the $300 one. So hopefully these make sense. You can always DM us or shoot us an email or even text us if you have any questions on any of these methods. So another thing is staying debt free, avoid accumulating new debt by what? Creating an emergency fund. Less than, I believe the stat last time I read it was less than 40% of people have at least $1,000 of emergency funds in their savings account, which can always help for that rainy day, right? Whether the AC went out, you need a new appliance, or you need new tires, anything like that that can be considered emergency, or something worse than that you can use. Living within your means, which that budget helps you determine, hey, we have X amount of dollars to spend because we want more coming into the account than leaving, right? And then being mindful of buy now, pay later temptations. Which I say temptation because obviously, there's things that we want and things that we need. And many times I think there's things that we want that we can get payments in, but the interest rate is not worth it once we calculate everything. So step 5 is investing for the future. So why is investing the key? So saving alone isn't enough. Your money must work for you. You work hard for your money, and you want your money to work hard for you, right? So the power of compound interest. The earlier you start, the more you earn over time. I once read in a book that I love. The quote is compound effect. Small smart choices plus consistency plus time equals a radical difference, which was in Compound Effect, the book. So it provides to you financial security and peace. It prepares you for retirement, and you're able to build wealth for future generations, which I think all of us, if you're a parent, you want your children to have a better future or better opportunities in life than you had, right? So investing in opportunities that can grow into additional streams of income as well. You want to be able to have different avenues of income that can help support not only the lifestyle where you're at, but the lifestyle you want. So how do you start investing? Well, there's many different ways. Some of the most common ways that people know is a 401k, which your employer matches that. And I always recommend going with what your employer matches and then invest that money on top of that in something else like a IRA, right? So these two things are great methods that you're able to use, that if you started putting some money into this, let's say by the time you're 20, you're putting $200. Well, by the time you're in your 60s, it's going to be a 7-figure retirement account that you have. IULs and annuities. So neat thing about IUL, it is a life insurance policy, but it also has an investment portion of it that gives you some major benefits. One of those is tax-free, which nice thing about having that is, let's say you have a lot of money in your 401k or IRA, but by the time you pull out that money, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. With an IUL, it's completely tax-free, and there's ways that we structure it in order to do so. Second thing is it has something called living benefits. What are living benefits? God forbid you get sick or something were to happen, you can actually use that money right now penalty-free. Annuities are another great way that I don't have time in this video to go in deep, but we can definitely talk about that. Stocks, EFTs, mutual funds, real estate, investing in side businesses or passive income streams. So here's just a quick example of what investing can look like for you now. These two families, the Jones and the Smith, started investing. The Jones started investing at 36, and they did a total amount at $5,000 per year. And if we take a look at here, they stopped at 55. And the amount that they were able to accumulate, we'll get that in just a moment there. But we see that the Smiths, they began investing at 46. They did a total of $5,000 per year. And let's take a look at kind of that effect here on the bottom. Well, we see that the Jones accumulated about a little bit over $500,000, while the Smith accumulated $247,000 because of that compound interest, that difference in time, right? Even though the Jones started and stopped at 55, but they started earlier than what the Smith did. And that has a lot to do with just being able to use time to your advantage. So the younger you are, the more I would encourage you to take a look at investment options. Step 6 is just next steps. So mastering your income with a budget, once again, lowering and eliminating expenses, improving or leveraging your credit, paying off and staying out of debt, invest to grow your wealth. So if you're interested in anything we talked about as far as us helping you, whether it be financial coaching and really us guiding you step by step on how to use this program to your benefit, or if you just want a better quote for insurance, we could definitely help there, or just taking a look at your retirement plan, all of that, we are more than glad to take a look at that for you. Just DM us in one of our social media platforms, or if you got into here, it means you went through our landing page and requested more information. So you can email us, text us, or any of those means, and we will be more than glad to help you. Hope to talk to you soon, and you have a great day.